What's up?
Which radar type we going with
Oh,
here?
what are we doing? What are we doing?
We're starting this
Decide.
Type 2.
No radar on intrusion mode.
I mean,
and 2001 dog tags.
I'm only picking normal, so I feel like I need to make it a little bit hard.
This story is fictional, all right? Any similarities to real events, it's bullshit.
So fuck you.
So fuck you.
Hudson River, 2 years ago.
Oh, that voice.
We had classified intelligence.
You hate that voice.
It's still
what
funny,
are you talking
though. It's
about?
still funny.
Stank.
And the whole thing stank.
You just can't. I just say it like that. You just can't say all that voice when you don't even like it.
I think that voice is hilarious.
Thank you for letting us know. That's the George Washington Bridge.
In New York City? What? This isn't Alaska. This isn't out in the middle of nowhere.
It does
What
look
are we
like
doing in New York?
the beginning of SNL. Like,
Yeah,
Saxophone solo.
it does.
Featuring
featuring
Solid Snake.
as David Hayter.
Featuring Revolver Ocelot.
And tonight's musical guest,
Liquid Snake in the Super Baby Method. It's Metal Gear Night Live. But right now, we're just going to get a fucking onslaught of movie references. Right here, this is a reference to M. Night Shyamalan's second movie, Unbreakable, which stars Bruce Willis. It's one of the comic book movies before comic book movies, and it was supposed to be that his costume was a rain jacket. And with the hood, it was supposed to be like a cape. And then, like, this is exactly like it. There's sequences in that movie because he's, like, supposed to be out patrolling. He's like a security guard. And that's what he does for a living. He walks out in the rain, very mysterious like this, and all you really see is like Bruce Willis's nose peeking out of the hoodie, or the cloak right there.
I always thought it looked like he was wearing a garbage bag.
It does. It's supposed to be a rain slicker.
oh no. I love the cut when he throws it off and you still can't see him because he goes invisible.
Yeah. And this right here is obviously a reference to GoldenEye, James Bond movie, where it opens with him jumping off the dam. And he bungee jumps off a dam, and it was a real stunt too. Some guy really did that. But it's also a reference to Die Hard with a Vengeance, where there's a scene where they bungee jump off a bridge onto a barge underneath it. So this is like a reference inside of a reference. So already we're just fucking right into Kojima territory.
He does eat movies like, I don't know, nothing else.
But I mean, right off the bat, just Solid Snake is a fucking badass. I mean, because in Metal Gear Solid 1, the very first thing you see is like in a submarine headbanging. Like, that's all you see him do.
A surveillance camera?
A surveillance camera. Harry Gregson Williams, that's the guy. He's actually a Hollywood composer. He did music for The Rock.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Armageddon.
He also did The Fugitive, I believe, was it? Or
Well, he contributed. He didn't do all of the soundtrack to some movies, but he did contribute like songs.
a lot of Tom Clancy stuff, correct?
Yeah.
I never got into
Present
the Tom
Danger.
Clancy games.
Games.
I mean,
Movies?
Yeah.
No, you watched Hunt for Red October
Oh, that's true.
with Sean Connery. But I was obviously a Terminator moment with all the electricity coming off of him.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's always fucking there. Anywhere you go,
guy's a prick.
fucking Ocelot is watching you with binoculars, watching you masturbate.
That guy's an ass.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, I know, but right now he's still an asshole.
Those abs. Yeah, get prepared to watch, to see the most sexualized version of Solid Snake ever. It's pretty outrageous.
I don't know. No, never mind.
His Octo camo is pretty snug.
Look at that. That's pretty fucking, just right there. Come on. You're in for a fucking treat. Just that right there.
It's pretty, yeah.
So what do you think, as far as
Exciting.
opening scenes go in the series? This one ranks pretty high.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably my number one.
It's just not my favorite game, but that might be my favorite opening.
I know that me and my brothers were fucking jazzed when we saw that.
That's because you and your brothers love jazz, though.
That's right.
They love jazz.
We were also listening to jazz.
A lot of jazz. Yeah, welcome back, Otacon. He's less of a douchebag this time.
But you're gonna have to deal with it. You're not in the military anymore.
Right.
Yeah, he's much less of a wimp and more of a he is really intelligence. He knows what the fuck is going on.
I love that Snake was like, the camo's broken, and he's like, Yeah, I wasn't gonna rely on it anyway. I'm Solid Snake. Come
Well,
on.
he never actually uses it the first playthrough anyway.
Yeah. I imagine he just knew it was going to break anyway because he never got to use it in the last game. He's like, I just know it's just not going to work out.
I just love that dig that he has at Naomi right there. He's like,
Yeah, that's fucked up.
yeah, fuck Naomi.
And Mei Ling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
Mei
boys'
Ling-
club now.
Mei Ling was so nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why he has beef with her.
Snake has a lot of beef. He's a beefcake. Actually, in that opening scene, I remember
It's actually .com. I'm sorry.
Its own version of Metal
Kojima made it. It was supposed to be a mystery whether or not that was actually Snake, which is funny because it'll come into play later. But at the very opening scene, when he's walking around in that poncho, it's supposed to be, is that Snake? I don't know who that is.
You know what? I do remember thinking that when we first played it, was just like, who the hell is that? We had no idea who it was. We didn't know that it was Snake.
Yeah, and
Until he lands and then the camo's off. And they were like, fuck yeah, it's Snake! 'Cause
That's
we
good-
thought it was a bad guy.
Yeah, that's going to be
It
something.
seems like a bad guy.
That's something he does in every game after this. The introduction cinematic, they introduce the character in a very mysterious way, and it's always reveal who they are. That's going to be in every game. And we'll probably see it in the Phantom Pain as well.
I mean, especially since he like flicks a cigarette and he's like littering. I thought, man, this guy's
Snake.
littering.
Well, Snake is
He must be a bad guy.
Remember in the no smoking sign, in the very first, he's smoking directly under that. That he set precedent.
He did. I guess that was the first clue.
Try to avoid confrontation.
So basically, he's still setting up that it's an espionage level. Apparently, Kojima was inspired for the whole stealth franchise.
Ah.
The reason he was inspired to do it was playing hide and seek. That's what he says, or at least by the game of hide and seek. That's where it came from.
Metal Gear organization and officially
Yeah, if you're not following this, they're part of a group here to stop Metal Gears, and so they're coming aboard to get evidence that there is a Metal Gear.
All right, let's look at your gear. Your weapon is
I was gonna say something, but it would be spoiler, so I should just.
We'll
I should
save
just
that.
wait.
We'll save that.
Yeah.
it's a little hard to work with because
Yeah, could you imagine if Phantom Pain opens up with one of those cinematics and it's not actually Big Boss? It's like it's someone else, like those fan theories going around.
It's Big Box.
Big Box.
You play as a cardboard
It was
box.
a cardboard box all along.
check out the exercise.
Right off the bat, this game looks fucking cool. Like the rain hitting the first person view.
Yeah, first person.
First person view, completely different game.
Blow your cock off.
Yeah, that's what it's for. And then when you go in the first person view, like the raindrops hitting the screen. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool.
You haven't read the Surgeon General's warning, have you?
Shut up, Otacon.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, there's a lot of crazy stuff in this game as far as like what they did technically, and if I remember, this was before there was like, or before the sort of abundance of physics middleware that you could use in your game. So, like the stuff we'll see later on was all like animated, and it wasn't like a physics system that allowing these animations to take place. So it was like somebody made that animation for the various little things Dora will be showing us later on that you can do within the level.
Yeah, there's so much. This is, I mean, beginning of like the idea of a sandbox game where it's not so much getting. I mean, it is get point A to point B, but he really wants you to fuck around and play around with the level, interact with stuff in the meantime. And this is, I mean, there's more in this than there was in part one.
Yeah, and that being said, I would say that there's probably things that, as far as like tiny animations, that I'm probably going to miss. But I'll do as many as I know.
Again, we said this in the first series that these games aren't, these playthroughs aren't designed to be like Easter egg hunts. So, and they're not even supposed to be like skill playthroughs, like watch how badass we are. It's just us talking about the games because we like to. Sometimes we get distracted by cool details rather than trying to get like a good score. We are gonna have a fun little episode off to the side where we do play around with some of that stuff, but we're not gonna indulge in every little hidden trick because this series would be like another 6 months if we did that. Chopper. Oh shit!
They look so friendly too, like with their little raincoats.
Like the white breakers.
They look like, yeah. Look how friendly that guy looks. Fuck
Nope.
that guy.
Oh man, that's pretty
Fuck
brutal.
that guy. Yeah.
Was that blood always in there, or was that added for the HD version?
Yeah.
I
it
find
was
it-
there.
Oh man.
I find it really hard to believe that Snake is not being seen at all right now. Like, he's just on the deck. It's not like he's really hiding that
Yeah,
much.
and it looks like they're wearing night vision goggles too.
Yeah. It's just-
Well, they're not
how-
over their
how do they not
eyes. Well,
see
that guy
him?
is. That guy's wearing him. He's a smart one. And that guy. And that guy.
They're all wearing them, Josh.
But none of.
Well, he doesn't have him
Okay,
down.
all right, fair
See?
point.
But he has
See?
him up
That's,
there.
that's the Johnny Sasaki right
Yeah.
there.
Well, he's not surrounded by flies.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
This really is just like watching a movie at this point.
Seriously, how do they not see him? I just don't get it.
Who's this guy?
Who's this fucking asshole?
Just assuming he's a bad guy. Just
Everyone's
because
a
they
bad
slit
guy.
everyone's throats.
And he's Russian.
Oh, and he's Russian.
It's because
All
of
right,
his
I get it.
coat.
No marine barber touched that head of hair.
Ah,
Oh,
that's what gave it away.
Yeah. He's zooming
haircut.
right into his junk.
What's that about?
Aw, damn,
come
Rushkies.
I'm sure they don't all wear hats like that. Come on.
I'm on it.
Yeah, so this game came out 2001, well after the Cold War. And that's a part of the plot, too, but it's still, like, it's pretty funny how it's just, like, Russians are still kind of villains.
Looks like the tanker's theirs now.
He's
Man.
just standing on deck.
K-60 Kasatka.
Was that supposed to be that he recognized the type of helicopter by the sound? Because it zoomed in on his,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. He heard it. A hind D?
Hind-D. This is actually the first game not to have a Hind-D battle in it.
Transport, aren't they some
It's
kind
kind of weird.
Oh, check it out. It gives me more control with the codex.
More nauseating. Whoa! So we can do all of our own like dramatic zooms in the game. There's
Yeah.
a little Wayne's World reference
Yeah.
there.
of put it online and blow the whole thing wide open.
You can also make him say things, but I don't want to press a button and accidentally cut the screen. I forget what button it is. That you can actually make him say weird shit.
If anything happens,
Or like I think Snake says, "Isn't that interesting?" I don't know.
Is it
Shit
sound
like
that sarcastic? Oh, go on. That's so clever.
Actually, that does sound like something Snake would say.
I'm listening.
No, Mei Ling.
want to save.
Got it.
Guess I gotta call Otacon to save.
Yeah, and he's not going to give me any
The only
sweet
time,
poems.
the only time Otacon or Snake calls Otacon is for a booty call. We all know that.
The less we think about that, the better.
Oh, yeah, here we are. Man. Even, like, what I really love about Metal Gear Solid 2 is, I'm sure it was intentional, but the art and the assets used in the game are... It's like they were thought ahead of time to be timeless. Like, they wanted them to last because of how clean the game looks with the textures and
It's very clean, yeah.
where it takes place, like all in these industrial structures. Everything looks very clean and smooth, and because of that, it can hold up really well when it's from 2001. And I think that you could come back to this in 10, 15 years, and it would still hold up really well, just because of, like, it seems like it was thought about when they were designing it, like, for, like, posterity.
You think it's going to hold up as well as that ass? Because look at that fucking girdle. That skin-tight fucking outfit.
That's so weird. I don't know how I never noticed that
Yeah,
he's
he's got-
actually wearing a girdle.
He's wearing a girdle, and it like accentuates his ass. He's got straps on. It looks like he's wearing like lingerie. Like he's got like thigh straps. It
Yeah.
looks like he's wearing like pantyhose or something.
It's even worse than Portable Ops. His sneaking suit in that looks like he's wearing stockings.
Oh, really?
And I don't think that is unintentional.
Well, I
I think
have
that
a
is
theory-
very intentional.
I do have a theory of why. I think he is intentionally being sexualized, kind of in the same way that like Batman later got nipples on his costume because
Right.
because the director for that movie said, you know, anyone who dresses up like a bat and beats up guys definitely has a weird fetish. I don't think that is necessarily what Kojima is going for, but I'll talk about it later when something else comes up. But I think they are intentionally sexualizing Snake for very, very good reason.
Oh, talk about the rain, because you told me about that.
Oh yeah, well, are you hiding from someone?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not. I'll bring it up when you actually go back out into the rain.
Yeah, let me wait for this guy.
But Josh, I think you're right. I think that even though this is an HD cleanup, I really think that the graphics hold up. Well, not the graphics, the design.
That's the thing, is they didn't really have to do much to it because it already looked so good and timeless, like boosting its resolution. And I don't know if they improved textures or not, but like the game is so clean to begin with that all they really had to do was boost the resolution. And,
Yeah.
and it looks great.
Well, I mean, it's cool just seeing that like the rain whip around in different directions, and there's like a fog that changes direction and has a really there's a lot of like texture and dimension to it. So what you were hinting at before, Dora, is that it's interesting that they spent hours trying to get that rain effect correct on Snake's body, and they just really hammered away at it, and Kojima was never happy with the way it looked. So what he ended up doing eventually was, instead of having it being a physics thing that reacted to the environment, what it actually is, those raindrops are a part of Snake's character model. So he's actually emitting those raindrops instead of rain falling on him. And whenever you go, it's like a true Snake fan.
Yeah.
It's a sprinkler.
Yeah.
Sprinkler.
Be careful. You're going to start a typhoon and just blow the entire boat
I
away.
want him to do like a Snake Eater. He just throws up all over himself.
That's going to be in the next game. Another reason why Snake Eater is one of my favorite games.
It's so good.
Yeah, so if you go into an area that there's no, like if you go under a bridge or something, it's not that rain's not falling on him. There's a section in the map that recognizes that's where there's not supposed to be rain there, and his body stops emitting rain. So that's really, it's a cheat. But it's
Yeah,
really
I
interesting.
think it ties into the thing I was talking about earlier with them like not having physics middleware like Havoc or any of that to use, so they had to like get creative with how they did it. Just like they like hand animated the.
It's so comical.
Okay, I'll just put it back.
It's so slapstick. That's perfect that's such a Kojima moment.
Yeah, with like the stuff that seems like physics later on, Dora will show like the breaking of things and stuff like that is like animated and not a physics middleware, I believe.
Yeah, they took the time to actually animate it. I mean,
Because there wasn't an option to do that at that time, I believe.
like even these lockers, like the way they, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like you're punching them. It seems like there's a separate animation for them falling over. And but it's still like all of this is done, especially for like whoa. Like,
Nong.
Like no other game would do that. I love it.
That's so weird. Yeah.
But like the rain coming off of Snake, and because Kojima just really wanted this to feel just wet and dark, and he wanted you to feel like you were dripping with rain too. And that's another reason why the tanker is so like polished and stainless steel. He really wanted to have that immersion and feel like you're in this gritty environment. Just knock the fuck out of that
like
locker.
This is one of my favorite animations.
Oh yeah, they can fall on you and knock you down.
I love how his abs jiggle when he falls on the ground.
I didn't know you could lean against them to close them.
That's gotta be new. Yeah, I like doing that. That's gotta be a new animation. I don't really remember that when I first played that.
Get that fucking fire extinguisher.
Make myself cough. Why not?
So, aim your gun again. So, if you notice, there's a little laser sight on the gun. So, in inclusion to the first-person perspective, there's also one of the first games to feature a laser sight. So, how fucking ahead of a time, and every fucking game has a laser sight on it. This is one of the first games to have it. I think the game that actually made it popular was Resident Evil 4, but that came out around the same time as Snake Eater. But we'll talk about this when we get into Snake Eater. But there's a lot of similarities between Resident Evil 4 and Snake Eater. But this is the first game to actually introduce that laser sight. So I mean, I think that's pretty fucking cool. Although it's been done to death these days. Just molest that soldier.
You can't. I don't know. I don't like. You can't actually make it look like he's humping.
Get it right up into his thighs.
I'm not. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, everyone.
All right.
I think
we're going to leave the cruise lounge because there's a lot to do in here. We're going to leave this for the next episode because we're going to have a lot of
see
fun.
his shoulder. I could see you completely, Snake. You're not hiding.
All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in, starting Metal Gear Solid 2. We're going to continue in the next episode. Again, keep track of all the things that you like, your favorite parts that you don't like. To be honest, guys, there's a lot to not like in this game. And there's a lot to fucking blow your mind. So keep up with us, send us messages, like, subscribe, and check us out next time. Thanks, guys.